Hey there, language lovers. Welcome back to another episode of English Learning Podcast. I'm Emma, and I'm here with my co-host Ethan.
Hey everyone, hope you're all doing awesome. Today, we've got a topic that we know a lot of you are curious about: how to be the most confident English speaker in the room. It's something we get asked about all the time. Right, Emma?
Oh, definitely. Whether it's speaking in class, at work, or even just chatting with friends, confidence in English can make such a huge difference. And let's be real, who doesn't want to walk into a room and instantly feel like, yeah, I got this?
Exactly. So, today, we're going to break it down for you: practical tips, mental hacks, and real-life strategies. So, if you want to become the person who owns the room with your English skills, stay tuned.
Let's kick things off with something that a lot of people overlook: mindset. If you don't believe you're a confident speaker, it's going to show. I mean, think about it. You could have all the grammar and vocabulary in the world, but if your mind isn't on your side, it's like running a race with one leg.
Totally. Confidence starts up here in the head. One of the first things I always tell people is, stop worrying about making mistakes.
Yes. We all make mistakes. And you know what? That's actually part of the journey. But people are often so scared of saying the wrong thing. They freeze up, or they talk way less than they should.
Exactly. So, if you can accept that mistakes are natural, you'll instantly feel less pressure. And hey, did you know that even native speakers make mistakes all the time?
Oh, totally. I remember once I heard a native speaker say, "I'm gonna have some cake, but I'm gonna have it with coffee." Like, okay, you just said the same thing twice, but it was totally unintentional.
That's a great example. So, don't worry about perfection. It's about communication and connection, not about speaking flawlessly.
Another mental shift I always talk about is visualizing yourself as confident. You know how athletes picture themselves winning before a big race?
Yeah, exactly. When you imagine yourself speaking confidently, it actually triggers the brain to act as though you've already achieved it. And you know what? It works. When you walk into a room, the more you've mentally prepared for success, the better you'll perform.
Exactly, so start believing you can do it. Confidence comes from the inside, right? It's all about that internal dialogue. Are you saying, "I'm going to mess up," or "I've got this"?
Okay, let's get into some actionable steps. Once you've got the right mindset, you need to really master the basics. I'm talking pronunciation, grammar, and common phrases. These are the tools that give you the power to express yourself clearly and confidently.
Yes. I cannot stress enough how important clear pronunciation is. You don't have to sound like a native speaker, but you do want to be understood, right?
Definitely. And that's where a lot of people trip up. They get nervous about their accent or pronunciation, and it actually makes their speaking less clear. But if you slow down a bit and focus on enunciating your words, it can make all the difference.
Right. For example, let's take the word specific. Some people might say it as Pacific, which sounds completely different. So being aware of these small things can really boost your confidence.
And don't forget about the importance of grammar, too. Now, we're not talking about sounding like a walking textbook, but if you're always mixing up verb tenses or sentence structure, it can throw off your message.
For sure. The trick is not to stress about every little detail, but to be aware of the common patterns. And once you're aware of them, you'll naturally start to sound more confident.
Another tip is learning common phrases and idioms. These little expressions are like secret weapons. They make you sound more natural and fluent. For instance, saying, "I'm over the moon," instead of just, "I'm happy," makes you sound more confident, don't you think?
100%. And hey, it's a fun way to make your English sound more colorful. So, as a quick challenge for our listeners, think of 5 phrases you could start using this week to spice up your conversations.
Now, let's talk about something that doesn't always get the attention it deserves, your environment. The people you surround yourself with can either help you grow or hold you back.
Yes, if you're constantly around people who criticize your mistakes or put you down for speaking English, it's going to be so much harder to feel confident. But when you're around people who encourage you, celebrate your progress, and don't judge you for making errors, it makes a world of difference.
That's why language communities or conversation clubs can be so helpful. They're a space where everyone's in the same boat, trying to learn and improve. So, it's like this pressure-free zone where making mistakes is actually encouraged.
Exactly. And there's something about being in a group of supportive people that makes you feel safer and more willing to take risks with your speaking. Plus, you can share tips and tricks with each other.
Another great thing is finding a language buddy, someone you trust who can give you constructive feedback. It's more motivating to improve when someone's there to cheer you on. And let's be real, sometimes you just need to vent about a difficult conversation in English.
So true. And a positive environment doesn't just mean the people around you. It also means the space you're in. If you're constantly stressed out or anxious about where you are, it's hard to feel confident. Find a spot that makes you feel at ease, whether that's a cozy corner at home, a cafe, or a language meetup.
Okay, let's talk about one of the biggest confidence boosters, practice. The more you practice, the more natural and confident you'll feel.
Definitely. I always tell people, you don't need to wait until everything is perfect before you speak. Just speak. That's where the magic happens.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be some big formal conversation. You can practice with friends, in the mirror, or even with language exchange partners online.
Speaking of language exchanges, do you remember when I tried practicing with that group of native speakers last month? I was nervous at first, but after a couple of sessions, it felt like a breeze. I got to a point where I wasn't even thinking about grammar. I was just focused on communicating.
I love that. And you bring up an important point. Real conversations are the best practice. I know it's intimidating, but think of every conversation as a mini victory. Even if you make a mistake, you learn from it.
Exactly. And you can learn so much by just putting yourself out there. But also, don't be afraid to slow down. A lot of people speed through their sentences because they're afraid of taking a pause. But trust me, a well-placed pause can actually make you sound more confident.
Right? It gives you a moment to gather your thoughts and keeps your speech from feeling rushed. Plus, it makes you sound more authoritative. So don't be afraid to breathe and take your time.
Let's talk about something that I think is really relevant to many people. Imposter syndrome. You know, that feeling that you're not good enough, or that you're faking your way through English.
Yeah, it's that voice in your head saying, "You don't belong here. You shouldn't be speaking English." It can be so paralyzing, especially when you're surrounded by people who seem to speak perfectly. But guess what? Everyone has those moments.
Yes, and the reality is, people might look like they're speaking perfectly, but they're probably just as nervous as you are. And if you feel like you don't belong or are faking it, that's a clear sign you're pushing your limits. That's when growth happens.
Exactly. Imposter syndrome thrives when you're comparing yourself to others. Instead, compare yourself to where you were 6 months ago, a year ago. If you've made progress, you're on the right path.
It's all about embracing your journey, no matter how imperfect it might seem. Remember that every step you take in speaking English is a success. Let's not forget about the importance of body language when it comes to confidence. Your posture and movements can say a lot about how you're feeling inside.
Oh, absolutely. If you're hunched over, avoiding eye contact, or fidgeting, it's going to be hard to project that confident vibe. But standing tall, making eye contact, and using open gestures? Instant confidence boost.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of a smile. It sounds simple, but smiling can completely change the dynamic of your conversation. It signals that you're approachable, comfortable, and confident.
I love that. And if you're nervous about your English, focusing on your body language can take some of the pressure off your words. It's like the physical confidence feeds into the verbal confidence.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today, but let's wrap up with something I know everyone struggles with: handling nerves. Even the most confident speakers get anxious sometimes.
Definitely. I mean, I'm sure we've all been there, heart racing, palms sweating, worrying about what people will think.
Yeah, it's normal. But here's the secret. The more you put yourself in situations where you're speaking English, the less those nerves will take over.
Exactly. And remember, it's not about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear and doing it anyway. Every time you push through that fear, you're building your confidence.
And don't forget the power of positive self-talk. Instead of saying, "I'm going to mess up," try saying, "I'm going to do my best," or "This is a learning opportunity."
Love that. You got this, Emma. I've seen you grow so much as a speaker over the past few months. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build.
And with that, we hope today's episode has given you some real tools to work on your confidence. Remember, it's a process. Take it step by step, and you'll be owning the room in no time.
Yeah, so next time you're speaking English, remember, mindset, practice, body language, and don't forget, you've got this. Thanks so much for listening today, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Catch you later, everyone. Speak up and stay confident.